Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone who taught me his truth, and a sincere Shalom to the elect out there teaching his truth in all honesty and sincerity. Hang on, brothers, let me, in these last days, it's like I had to turn that fan down. Alright, now this topic is going to be about insulin resistance, because this is a much bigger health problem than people realize. Okay? And when I look around at different camps, including my own, okay, I see it in a lot of brothers, man. I see it in a lot of brothers. And it's very dangerous, okay? If you suffer from a high amount of insulin resistance, and that means that your health is out of order. I don't care what you're eating, okay? So you need to do what you can to reverse it. Okay, you need to do what you can to reverse it, man. You know, so Lord willing, this helps some brothers out there, man. Okay? And if you follow these steps, let's say you're diabetic, okay? Because that diabetes is really a high amount of insulin resistance, especially type 2. This may even reverse and cure your diabetes, because there are a lot of people that have followed these steps. Maybe not necessarily the way that I put it, because I made this, okay? I made this whole document, you know, and I've spent years researching this. You know, I come from a diabetic, you know, I was born of a diabetic mother, and I spent the first 2.5 months of my life in an incubator. It's even a miracle I'm alive, you know, but through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and through his mercy, you know, I'm still here at 40, and I'm pretty much healthier than ever. Okay? When a lot of doctors were saying that I wouldn't live very long. Esau's physicians of no value. Okay? What is that? Job 13:4. So, hey, if you're around my age, or a little older or a little younger, you know, this can help you. Okay? It don't matter whether you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s. Okay? Now, I'm going to go through this step by step. Number 1, what is insulin resistance and how to fight it? Basically, insulin resistance is when your body, it's in the title, becomes resistant to insulin. Because over the years, and this doesn't just develop overnight, you know, you got to really think long term when it comes to this. Insulin resistance is something that builds up over the course of your entire life. Okay? So it's not going to be easy to overcome it. All the years of us eating this garbage food and living the standard American diet, right, the SAD, and us making unhealthy choices and being inactive, okay, that's what got us here. And I suffer from this myself. Okay? I suffer from this myself. And if you notice, Apostle Gabar, he's been on a health kick for a few years now. And I guarantee you he's still got some level of insulin resistance. Even though he is doing much better, you could tell. Okay, he's still got a little bit of insulin resistance, because it's something that just does not go away right just like that. Okay? So you need to get it out your mindset that you're just going to go on a diet or cut the pizza out and then it's going to go away. No, that's not going to happen. Okay? Because over years and years and years, every time we ate or drank sugary drinks or whatever, okay, or hell, even partied and didn't sleep right, you know, that could cause insulin resistance too. Okay? We did damage to our bodies over time, you know, and it got to the point where our body started rejecting insulin. Okay? Our cells are all saturated. They're rejecting insulin. Okay? So you need to make them more sensitive. You know, all the years of the sugary foods and the sugary drinks. Because you got to look at it this way. Every single time that you consume foods, primarily carbohydrates, okay, you get a rise in what? Your blood sugar. And when that spikes, your body has to create a massive amount of insulin. Okay, it has to create a giant shot. Sometimes it's a little trickle when you eat the right foods, which is okay. And sometimes it's a big shot. Okay? So you get a spike in your glucose and blood sugar and a spike in insulin at the same time. Now, eventually what happens is your cells start rejecting the insulin, okay? Because insulin helps shuttle nutrients into your cells. All right? So when your cells become resistant, okay, you don't really absorb nutrients. Okay, and it creates a condition, man. It damages your organs and you store fat. Okay? And a good way to tell whether you have insulin resistance or not is to look at your gut. Because most of your body's insulin receptors are in your gut. If you're lean in some parts of your body and you got a big, like a pot belly, like you see some of those weightlifters, you know, you see some of those weightlifters, they might have or strongmen or powerlifters or whatever, they might have a big old gut, but they might have, you know, lean arms or whatever, or shoulders, big traps. Whatever. That's insulin resistance, man. Okay? That's why you can't target belly fat, man. You know, you need to get your body in the proper order. What is insulin resistance and how to fight it? It's about more than food selection. Okay, so those of you who think that you're just going to end the video with those with the short-term memories and you're just going to swap out certain foods or eliminate certain foods, that's not going to reverse it. Okay? That alone is not going to reverse it. And it's about more than just exercising. You're not going to go for a fucking run in the morning and reverse insulin resistance. Because honestly, if you think that, then you're just being ignorant, which means without knowledge. Okay? And that's insulting to brothers who are really trying to fight this problem and are working hard at it. Okay? It's insulting, man. You know? It will take a long time, and a crash diet will not fix it. Okay? You're not just going to go on a diet. Slack it. Hang on one second, brothers. Right, so you're not just going to go on a diet for a couple months and it's just going to go away. No, you need to make an absolute, complete lifestyle change. Okay, and you need to do something that you're going to be able to stick to. So a lot of people will jump the gun and just scream keto. I believe keto is an important step. I truly do. I just came off a keto cycle myself. Okay? But is keto sustainable in the long term for most people? I would say no. Okay? Now, should you do a ketogenic cycle every once in a while? Sure. For a few months at a time, you know? But basically what I do is I switch from low carb to keto. Okay? Back to low carb. Okay? That's what I've done over the past year. Pretty much. Because I've tried to get my health in order plenty of times, man. And I just keep going back to the same shit. Because you need to do something that's sustainable for you. And you need to pray. You need to pray for the strength, for the wisdom, and for the discipline, man. Because the Heavenly Father, He said that if you ask Him without faith unwavering, He will liberally give it to you. Okay? And He's bound by His word. Okay? Now, number 2. we're going to cover the dangers, okay? Chronic diseases and illnesses. Every single chronic disease there is that is known to man, okay, is linked somehow to insulin resistance. So this number 2, this is the fear section right here. Okay, this is to get you afraid. Okay? Every single chronic illness known to man. No, I'm not saying that that's the cause of it, but it's linked to it. Okay? When Esau's physicians, okay, don't listen to Esau's physicians, man. Okay? Again, this is not medical advice. I got to put that disclaimer on there. Talk to your physician, talk to your doctor, blah, blah, blah. Okay? There's a disclaimer so I don't get medical misinformation. Flag, okay? And this throws your body. Why does chronic disease happen? Because your body is not at ease. Okay? It's out of balance. Okay? We have never eaten so many carbohydrates before in our history. Okay? The USDA tells you to eat what? 300 grams of carbs a day? And then they have the nerve to say that 130 grams is considered low carb. For most people, it's not. Okay, I would say 100 or under is low carb. Keto would be somewhere between 35 and 50. Okay, and there is a difference between keto and low carb. Dangers, chronic disease, weight gain. Okay, it makes it not only do you gain weight with insulin resistance, okay, but it's easier to gain weight. Okay, because it lowers your body's overall metabolism and your blood sugar is all wacky. If your blood sugar is high, your body doesn't metabolize fat because it has the carbohydrates there for energy. Okay? Difficulty losing weight. Okay, it could also make it difficult for you to lose weight if you have insulin resistance. Because if you notice, everything works for a little while. You might go on a diet and exercise, and then after 3 weeks to a month, maybe 2 months, it stops working. Okay? A lot of that is because of the insulin resistance. When you address insulin resistance, you keep the weight off. And you don't get those huge fluctuations in your weight. Okay? Why? Because your body is healthy. It's more whole. Okay? So, you're basically training your body to get back in balance. And there's things that I'm missing on this list. Organ damage, including fatty liver. Okay? A majority of cases of fatty liver do not come from eating fat. They come from insulin resistance. Okay? Because your liver constantly has to process all these sugars and fructose and simple carbohydrates, man. And when it can't do that, it gets overwhelmed and it stores it as fat. Visceral fat. I should put that down there. Hold on. Okay. Visceral fat, which is fat that develops around the organs and belly area. It is dangerous. It is dangerous. Okay, and it's very tough to get rid of. Because there's subcutaneous fat and there's visceral fat. There's two different kinds of fat in our bodies. Okay? Now I want to get into organ damage too, because too much insulin, especially spikes, can damage your organs. Okay? If you notice, diabetics, they have problems with their livers, they have problems with their kidneys, they have problems with their pancreas, their gallbladders. Okay? Because really, you have to, when you talk about diabetes, you talk about insulin resistance. Pre-diabetes, right? That's what I see in a lot of brothers. They have pre-diabetes, man. And the older you get, the harder it is to overcome. Okay? Irregular blood sugar. Okay, irregular blood sugar. And this is why your health is so important. This is why your health is so important. If I were to tell you, okay, basically when your blood sugar is out of whack, when you have high blood sugar, you get mood swings. Okay, you get mood swings, you get temperaments, you get emotional. And I know this from having a diabetic mother, okay? She was sweet as can be. She really was a sweet woman. But when her blood sugar got all wacky, she was crazy. She was crazy. Okay? you could really see the black woman come out of her, man. Okay? Irregular blood sugar. I mean, and I don't want to hear that shit. Well, because a lot of brothers will have, they'll talk about faith, man. They'll talk about faith. They'll act like they don't have to do anything but just believe. Well, hey, you could get yourself condemned, man, because when you have irregular blood sugar, your temper gets flaring. Okay, you do and say things that you don't really mean. Okay, that you don't really mean. Because think about it, man. A lot of these foods that we eat, they're designed to screw you up. Okay, they're designed to make you hungry. They're designed to give you mood swings, to make you docile. Okay, to confuse you. And irregular blood sugar will do the same thing. Okay, so if you're saying that you don't need to pay attention to your diet and your blood sugar, okay, and then it doesn't do nothing. Okay, if you were to walk around drunk all the time, guess what? Your judgment will be thrown off, because that's what irregular blood sugar does. Okay, it throws your judgment off. Okay, throws the whole body off. Section 3. Everything matters. Okay, your timing. Okay, the timing that you eat. Okay, timing that you exercise. And that's another thing, the type of foods that you eat. Okay, because not all carbs are created equal. Not all foods are created equal, man. Okay, and even the order in which you eat the food on your plate. The order in which you eat the food on your plate even matters. You eat your fiber and you eat your fibrous vegetables and your protein first, maybe your protein and your fat first, and you eat your carbs last. Okay, you eat your carbohydrates last. So the order in which you do things matter. Okay? The timing of your meals matter. If you eat around your workout time, okay? If you keep most of your carbohydrates to after you break your fast, that matters, okay? Now, if you do some snacking later on in the day and you screw up your fasting schedule, that's okay. That's okay to do once in a while. Just make sure that later on in the day you reduce your carbohydrates or don't even eat them at all. Okay? Because they're an energy source. You don't need them at night. Okay, so the timing matters. Okay? Timing of your exercise, the timing of the food, the selection matters, as well as the order. Everything matters when it comes to fighting insulin resistance. Okay, and that brings me to cortisol. Cortisol is the main stress hormone of the body. Okay? And cortisol causes a myriad of health problems. So you need to get your stress in order. Okay? A good way to do that is to get started early in the day. Go for a walk in the morning. Get in some sunlight. Okay? Vitamin D can help reduce cortisol. And as well as help with insulin sensitivity. Okay? So everything matters. I want you to keep that in your mind. Okay? Keep that in your mind. That every single thing matters. Don't stress yourself out over it. You're going to slip once in a while. That's okay. That's why I don't really recommend that brothers start with keto. Get some discipline first. You know, because you're going to make progress on a lower carbohydrate diet. You're going to definitely make some progress. Okay, so you may not need to jump right into keto. Okay, so yes, everything does matter. Make some progress, man. Yeah, because you slip up one time in keto and you're knocked right out. With keto, you have a couple glasses of low sugar wine, and then you get them cravings, man. And before you know it, you're knocked right out of ketosis. Okay. Which I should add, keep your alcohol consumption to a minimum. Especially if the alcohol you're consuming has sugar and carbs in it. Sleep, okay? Sleep is very important when it comes to insulin resistance. Just getting one night's bad sleep, okay? Just one night's bad sleep. Esau's actually done studies on this. Just one night's bad sleep can mess up with your insulin resistance, and it can make you crave sugary foods. Okay? Exercise. And this is important to understand. Okay? Not all exercise is the same. So everything matters. The type of exercise you do, the timing of the exercise. Well, hey, just like at the top, timing, selection, and order. Okay? All that makes a difference, man. Okay? What a lot of people will do is they'll become cardio kings or cardio queens. That's not going to work, man. You have to do some kind of resistance training. You have to. And the higher intensity. Now, obviously, if you're not used to lifting weights, just get the basics down and focus on your form. But eventually, you got to start increasing that weight, man, because most of your muscle's glycogen storage is in your fast twitch muscle fibers, which are only stimulated through activating high threshold motor units, man. Okay, heavier weights, higher intensity to deplete the glycogen. Okay, so just going through the motion weights, lifting unchallenging weights, or jogging and all that shit is really not going to do much at all for insulin resistance. If anything, I would say walking is better than jogging for some reason. Okay, well, obviously because you're not breathing too hard because when you do too much jogging, you're creating oxidation. Okay. And you create cortisol when you do steady state cardio at moderate intensity. It's better to go high intensity or lower intensity. Okay. And last but not least, on number 3, this is not a battle but a war. Again, you have to have a plan. You have to really think over the longer, moderate, and longer term. You may need to fight this until the chariots come. You may need to fight this until the chariots come. Okay? And there's going to be times when you have victories, and there's going to be times when you hit plateaus, and there's going to be times when you have losses. The important thing is you need to look at it as a series of battles instead of just a battle. Okay? It's a war. Number 4, elimination and better choices. And this may be the most important section. Well, number 5 probably is. Okay. Well, hey, getting back to not a battle but a war, you need to have a no excuses mindset. Okay? Honestly, I should have said that at the beginning of the video because now that I say you need to have a no excuses mindset, if you're one of those people who's just gonna do things your way and think you know everything, then just turn the fucking video off. Don't even watch the rest of it. Okay? In fact, I should have told you that 24 minutes ago, because we're not dealing with winging it and bullshit anymore. Okay? Elimination and better choices. Number 4. Processed foods are witchcraft. A lot of the foods that we eat today simply did not exist then. A lot of the food, even the healthier foods, like certain fruits, now they have more sugar. Okay? They've been cultivated to have more sugar. And a lot of these processed foods are purely witchcraft. Witchcraft in a wrapper. Witchcraft in a box. Witchcraft in a can. Okay? There's all kinds of things added to these foods, man, that make you hungry, that make you addictive. And sugar is very addictive. Sugar is very addictive, man. Okay? It's one of the most addictive things there are. Okay? But you need to have that in the mind, that processed foods are witchcraft. You know? So you need to start looking at that with disdain. Okay? You need to start looking down on it. Okay? Like, ugh. Stop listening to your taste buds, man. Alright? Figure out how to give your taste buds some relief without resorting to processed foods. So I'm going to give you some tips. Okay? And that's in this section. Now, natural sugars are better, but are still sugar. Okay? Now, I know that's going to stir some things up in brothers' heads. Okay? Oh, well, this banana or this apple or this pear is a natural sugar, so I could eat a whole shitload of it and it doesn't matter. It doesn't, okay, listen, it's better than processed sugars, but it's still sugar. At the end of the day, it's still sugar. Okay? It's still going to cause a spike in your blood sugar. Okay? You shouldn't eat carbohydrates by themselves anyways. You know? And one of the tools that I use is when I slip up and I eat some fruit, I'll add some fat with it. Okay? Or some fiber. Something with some fiber, because that will slow down and reduce the blood sugar spike. Because the spikes, you know, a slight elevation in your blood sugar here and there is fine. But you want to eliminate the spikes, because that's when you really have to produce a lot of insulin. Okay, you need your blood sugar within a certain range. I believe it's between 80 and 150 or 80 and 140, something like that. Okay? So you need to get that out of your head. That's something that you need to get that you need to get out of your head. That it's okay just because it's natural sugar. It's still sugar. Okay? And then there's fruit versus starches. Okay? Now fruit has a lot of fruits have fructose. Okay? And fructose is processed by the liver. You want to reduce that as much as possible. Okay? Cuz your liver has to break it down harder, okay? And that leads to what? To fatty liver. That leads to a higher insulin response, higher blood sugar overall. Okay? Now, starches have glucose. Things like your sweet potatoes. Things like carrots and other starchy vegetables. Okay? They have glucose. They don't need to really be processed by the liver, and they're more ready for uptake by your skeletal muscles in your brain. Okay? Now, another danger of too much fructose is when you've gone 12 hours without eating, your liver releases all all the fructose that it has stored in it. Okay? That's when most of the conversion happens. Okay? So that's why some people that eat a lot of fructose, they get high fasting blood sugar. Okay? You don't want that. Okay? So if your liver is stored with glycogen and fructose, okay, then that means that when you do fast, your blood sugar is going to be higher when it should theoretically be going lower. Okay? Okay, the next part, cooking skill and alternatives. Tasty substitutes. You need to get it out your head that you're going to be eating out a lot, because you're not. Okay, if you're really serious about this, you're not going to be eating out a lot. And that leads me to something that I should have mentioned in processed foods or witchcraft. Soybean oils and industrialized seed oils, man. Fried foods are a fucking no-no. Okay? Fried foods are a no-no. They destroy everything that's good about the food. And they replace it with nasty shit. Okay? Changes the fatty acid structure. Usually when you eat fried foods, they're fried in soybean oil. Okay, which is estrogenic and it creates insulin resistance. Okay? And all kinds of things. Usually you eat it with breading. Yeah, no more fried foods, and learn how to cook, man. Okay, make soups, make stews, make alternatives, man. You know, hey, if you have to at first, you know, make get alternatives. You know, like sugar-free ketchup or something, or low sugar barbecue sauce or something. Just take that step, man. Okay? And get better at cooking and stop eating out all the damn time. You know? And there's alternatives out there. Instead of bread, you shouldn't be eating bread anyway. You could get almond flour and walnut flour or whatever. Or macadamia nut flour. And you can make your own breads. You know, I make a banging cinnamon gingerbread. Only 3 grams net carb, or 2 grams net carbs per slice. You know? And then you use the alternatives. You use the plant-based sweeteners like the monk fruit and the stevia. Okay? Hey, a trick that I do when I want something sweet is I'll get some sparkling water, right? Some lime flavored or lemon lime flavored sparkling water. I think it's called Pellegrino or whatever. And I add stevia leaf and monk fruit to it. Okay? And it tastes just like Sprite. So you got to figure out what you could do to where when you want something sweet, you can still get it without actually having to resort to something that's high in sugar. Okay? You know, make tasty substitutes. Okay? Make your own salad dressing. It's much tastier and it's much better for you. Take some olive oil. Take some vinegar. Hey, if you want it more vinegary, add more vinegar. It don't matter. You might put some seasonings in it. You know? If you need to have in fact, that's the next section. I'm going to save it. No cheat days. Okay, that the idea of a cheat day needs to be foreign to you. Okay? Like I got into the excuses mindset. Fuck that shit, man. Fuck that excuse shit. Okay? You could still eat tasty foods once in a while. But the idea of dedicating a whole day to eating like a fucking slob and eating and being a Babylonian at the dinner table, that needs to be a thing of the past for you. That needs to be a thing of the past. Okay? Now here's the thing. cheat meals and foods are okay, and I should put sometimes there. Okay? Now, I'm not really into cheat meals. In fact, I just came off a keto cycle Friday, and I had my first true cheat meal in a year. A whole year. Okay? And I felt like shit after that, man. Okay? But what I've been doing from time to time is I will have what's known as a cheat food, which means that you eat a normal, healthy meal, and then you have a cheat food as a snack with that meal. Okay? You don't have the snack by itself, but you have it with the meal. Okay? That's okay to do once in a while. You got to make sure that you're adapted to whatever you're doing first. Okay, don't be confusing the fuck out of your metabolism. That's why cheat days are no bueno. Okay? And then come up with a plan and do what suits you. Okay? Everybody's lot and situation is different. Okay? Every situation is different. Some brothers got big families. Some brothers, they got busy schedules, you know. They may not have a lot of liberty at work. They may be limited with their choices, their budget, whatever. Okay, you need to come up with a plan, and you need to do what suits you. Okay, you may need to write some things down. That's why I always say, don't start with keto. Okay? And then, last but not least in this section is discipline. Just like I was getting into with the no excuses, man. You really gotta want to do this, and you really and you need to pray on it. You need to pray for the wisdom and the strength. Okay, but the main thing is the discipline. Get used to fucking saying no. Okay? When you see others eating shitty foods, you need to look at them in disgust. That's what you need to do. I don't care if it's brothers around you or not. Start looking at maybe not necessarily the individual, but what they're doing as being disgusting. Because, just like at the top of the list, processed foods are witchcraft at the end of the day. Okay? But discipline is going to be center to it. That's why I don't like the idea of having a whole fucking cheat day. It doesn't show discipline. You know, it doesn't show discipline. Tools, okay? Now, these are tools that you could use, man. And you have to know where to fit them. Okay, you have to know where to fit them, like I mentioned earlier. Carbs early on in the day and around your workout time. You know? Carbs early on in the day and around your workout time, man. That's mainly the main gist of it. Then the order in which you eat your foods. You eat your carbs last. You make sure that every meal has like a significant amount of fiber or even fat, because fat can reduce a sugar spike. Okay? But tools. Fasting. Okay? It's one of the best tools for fighting insulin resistance. Now, don't go thinking that your diet is going to be shit and you're just going to start fasting and insulin resistance is going to go away. But no. Okay? Just like when we scrolled up at number 3, everything matters. This is not a battle but a war. Okay? You have to attack the enemy at all fronts. Any way you can. Okay? Fasting is going to be crucial for this. Because fasting is going to help balance your body out. Okay? It's going to help balance your body out. It's going to help balance your blood sugar out. It's going to get your body used to using fat for energy and not just carbohydrates. Okay? It's going to give your digestive system a break. It's going to give your pancreas a break. Your body a break from insulin. Okay? Now, as to what fasting you do, I don't care. Okay? You need to do what you need to do. You need to do what you need to be able to sustainably do. Okay? You need to find something to where you can have some kind of consistency with it. You know, you may need to do 3 days a week, intermittent fast. Start off with that. And then you may need to go to 4 days as you build up. 5 days. Okay? And then when you do screw up your fasting schedule, don't fucking be so hard on yourself. Okay? The main thing is that you went over 12 hours. That's actually the most important thing, is that you went over 12 hours. Okay? Now, I'm not saying, oh, that's all you need to do is 12. No, you need to do the 16 and the 18 and the 20s once in a while. Okay? Hey, you may even need to do alternate day, where you go 36 once in a while. Okay? The main thing is that you're doing it with some kind of consistency, because one fast alone is not going to do it. 2 fasts alone are not going to do it. Okay? Don't go thinking that you're going to fast on the Day of Atonement and that's going to cure you. Bullshit. Okay? Like I said, this is not a battle but a war. Now, here's another thing about fasting. And some brothers may disagree with me on this. But hey, I'm open for discussion. Okay? Because I don't know everything about this. I'm still learning just like y'all. The scriptures say that what? Iron sharpeneth iron. But I would say that you should take a break from fasting every now and then. Okay, because when you do this, and I'm not saying take a long break. I'm not saying, oh, take a half a year break. No, just take a few days. Okay? Just take a few days every now and then and don't do a fast. Okay? Just take a few days, because this will help reset your body's tolerance to fasting. And then when you start fasting again, you'll be able to fast more effectively. Okay? Because your body gets used to things that you do. Sometimes you need to break it out of its cycle. Okay? Not only that, but fasting too consistently can actually lower your metabolism. You're trying to have a healthy balance here. Okay? And it's very stressful on the body. Sometimes you need to lay back off of it. Okay? But the important thing is, when you do lay back off for a little and take a little break, you get back on it. Okay? That's the important part. The next thing, lift weights. I went into higher intensity weight training and how it targets glycogen in the muscles, man. Okay? Even the Minister of Health will tell you, if you suffer from diabetes, which insulin resistance is pre-diabetes, okay, you must lift weights. You have to. Okay? Because the more muscle you put on, it's going to raise your metabolism, and it's going to raise your body's insulin sensitivity. Okay? Because you're able to store more muscle glycogen. The average person can only store about 1,500 calories worth of carbohydrate in their body. Okay? Once you start lifting weights, that's been shown to go all the way up to 3,000. So you could double the amount of carbohydrates you could store in your body. Okay? And it's going to deplete glycogen. And when your body is depleted of glycogen, it will absorb those carbohydrates when you intake them, because it can actually use them. It's not looking around for places to put them. Okay? Because when your body's done looking for places to store glucose, once your blood sugar gets higher and it has to create an insulin response, what did I mention earlier? It usually stores them in the gut and in the organs. Going back to number 2, the dangers. Okay? Eat carbs last. I already mentioned that. Okay, that's a key tool, and that's actually a very recent scientific finding. When you eat your carbohydrates last, that it reduces the overall blood sugar uptake. Okay? Get started early, meaning get started early in your day. Okay, get some sunlight early in the day. Okay, go for a walk. Reduce that fasting glucose level. Okay, and going for a walk earlier in the day can help lower cortisol levels throughout the rest of the day, man. Cortisol, read up on cortisol. Not good. Not good stuff. That's why walking is better than jogging. Okay? In my humble opinion. Healthy fats. Again, don't be afraid of fats, man. Okay? Society has become fat phobic, but when society became fat phobic, that's when they started getting fat. That's when they started getting fat. Your body can do a lot of different things with fats. Okay? Especially healthier fats. You know? Like your olive oils. And Apostle mentioned macadamia nuts. And honestly, macadamia nuts are like the best tasting fucking nut there is. You know, like I said, I do the breads with the walnut flour and the almond flour. Okay, your olive oils, your fish oils, your flax seeds. Okay, your healthy fats, man. They can improve insulin sensitivity, and they reduce blood sugar spikes. Okay. Yes, if you're going to be reducing the amount of carbohydrates that you intake, you're going to have to increase your calories somewhere. And it's going to be in fat, and it's going to be in protein. Okay, and if you go on keto, you have to have a high amount of fat. But you need to get all that fat phobia out of your head. Okay? Because honestly, I've been eating more fat the past year than ever. You know, and I lost a lot of weight. Okay? So it's bullshit. You know? Ghee is a good fat source too. Coconut oil, olive oil. Okay? Avocados. Different varieties of nuts. You know? And that goes with the cooking skill, man. Get creative with this stuff. You know? I make a soup once in a while. I think it's eggs. It's like an egg drop. Egg drop with broccoli and cabbage. Okay? And for the soup base, I use a lot of turmeric, you know, and curry and all that. You know, it tastes like an East Indian dish, honestly. And you know, you might want to put some different vegetables in there. You know, some zucchini or something. But yeah, I add a little bit of the different nut flours to it to make it thicker, like a gravy. Okay. Add some healthy fats, thicken it up. You know, getting creative with the cooking skill. Okay. Keep carbs to around your workout. We already addressed that. You know, and in fact, I want to point out that there's a lot of people that do keto and they eat carbs around their workout, and they're able to eat up to 100 grams of carbs a day and still stay in ketosis. They still stay in ketosis because your body uses the carbohydrates properly after a high intense workout. Okay? That will also help with your recovery. Satiety. Okay? And this goes back to the fats and the fibers. Okay? Fats and fibers, man. They keep you fuller for longer. When you're full for longer, okay, and you feel full, you're less likely to eat. You're less likely to snack. Okay? You won't feel the desire to eat or to snack. Now, a lot of this goes with up here with eliminating the processed foods. Okay? Because when you get rid of those addictions, you won't get as hungry as much either, okay? Especially when you eat foods that actually have nutrients. Your body won't have a reason to produce those hunger hormones. Ghrelin, okay? Walking. Frequent walks are so important, especially in the morning time and especially after you eat, okay? Just walking after you eat reduces your blood sugar. Okay, it's one of the best things that you could do over for a walk to regulate your blood sugar. Fiber. Everybody knows about fiber. Everybody loves fiber. You can't find a health expert out there, whether they're telling the truth or not, that will say anything bad about fiber. Okay, that's why when you go on a keto diet, you don't measure the total carbs, you measure the net carbs. Okay, you don't count fiber as carbohydrates. Okay, because they don't spike your blood sugar. Okay, but fiber is good for your gut health. It's good for all kinds of things, reducing blood sugar spikes. Okay, and that's the main thing that we're trying to do here. We're trying not to get out of that zone, so your body doesn't have to create a lot of insulin. Okay, ACV, or apple cider vinegar, that helps with insulin resistance greatly. Okay, especially when you take it at night. You know, hey, get the pill form if you can't handle the normal stuff, because I know a lot of people, they get like me personally, if I take apple cider vinegar by itself, I get a lot of burning throat. So what I'll do is I'll dilute it, but instead of the burning throat, I'll get the jitters. Okay, I don't know why apple cider vinegar does that result to me. I may be mildly allergic, but I notice when I take it in tablet form, it doesn't do that. Okay, but yeah, that's also a big tool. Apple cider vinegar, man, that is a big tool. Okay. Research foods and herbs that help with insulin resistance. Okay. Research foods and herbs that help with insulin resistance. Berberine. Okay. What is it? Forgot the name. It starts with a C. Chromium. That helps with insulin resistance. Cinnamons. Okay. But the herbs are not as important as the actual diet. I do have to say that. Okay, because then people, they start depending on... I'm not talking about herbs, I'm talking about supplements. Slovakia, I meant to say that. Because some people, they'll depend on the supplements too much, and then their diet will lack. Okay? They go hand in hand, but diet is most important. Okay? Plant sweeteners. Like I got into the stevia and the monk fruit. You know? Put it on things when you want something sweet. Me personally, I like to mix the two. Okay? Because monk fruit by itself, I don't really like the taste of that. It tastes too tropical for me. But when you mix it with the stevia, it's a nice balance. Okay? Yes, there's a lot of plant sweeteners out there that won't spike your blood sugar or your insulin at all. I mean, there's plenty of people that take stevia and then do blood tests online, and it does not have any impact whatsoever on their blood sugar. Me personally, I like to take it and put it on and sprinkle some on some nuts. Okay? Sprinkle it on some nuts. You get some strawberries. Man, you get some strawberries and you sprinkle some stevia on that. It tastes just like strawberry cheesecake, man. Tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead and do it. Tell me I'm wrong. But guess what? The stevia has no impact on your blood sugar. It runs right through your body. Okay? Okay, and number 6, I slipped up, what do I do? Okay? Sometimes you're going to slip. Sometimes you're going to have a cheap food. Sometimes you're going to be around people. Peer pressure, right? Or you're going to be out to eat somewhere with some people. And there ain't nothing on that menu that you're going to be able to eat. Or that you should be eating, okay? Don't beat yourself up over it. Okay? So what you could do is, with that meal or that food, you combine it with either fat or fiber or both. Okay? Go look it up, man. On what there's this guy, his channel is Insulin Resistant 1, the number 1 after insulin resistant. Okay? Go look up some of his shorts, man. He does tests where he eats bananas by themselves, and then he eats them with some peanut butter. Okay? And that peanut butter ain't exactly the natural peanut butter either. It's got sugar added. Okay? And it still reduced his blood sugar a considerable amount. He didn't get that huge spike. Okay? Even Dr. Berg will tell you. Dr. Berg will tell you to combine fat. Okay, if you slip up and you eat something too sweet. Okay, or fiber. And another thing is apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar will reduce a blood sugar spike. So if you eat some crap, well, I always say this: if you're going to eat junk food, it's better that it's greasy than it's sugary. Okay, but if you do, take some apple cider vinegar after. It'll help reduce your blood sugar spike. Okay. Now again, this is for when you slip up. Try not to make a habit of it. Okay. Ginger and cinnamon, adding ginger or cinnamon to something. Okay. Going for a walk. Going for a walk reduces your blood sugar, man. Every time you eat something. It's no different than if you eat a snack food. Okay, and last but not least, and extremely important, don't make it a habit and get back on track. Get back on track, man. Okay, that's why I'm against the cheat day. Don't have no fucking cheat days. Cheat days are for half-ass people, man. Okay? Cheat days are for half-assing people. Alright? People without discipline. They think they can just do everything their own way. Nonsense. Nonsense. Again, if you're a brother, you should feel offended by that if you're a brother who's really dealing with this and working hard at it. And you're not seeing the progress you would like to see. But like I always say, man, this is not a battle but a war, okay? So so hey, if you lose a battle, you get back on track and you win the next few battles. Okay? Okay, so we'll read this scripture and we're going to wrap it up. Sirach 30:15. Health and good estate. Well, actually, let me go to 14. Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. And if you shop smart, okay, you could be a poor man and still overcome this. Okay? Health and good estate of body. And by the way, this may be a 2-part series because I didn't even get into any foods. Okay? Health and good estate of body are above all gold. Okay? And a strong body above infinity wealth. There is no riches above a sound body Okay? There's no riches above a sound body. So it's important to have a sound body, man. Especially in the times that we're living in, man. You never know when the next super virus is going to be released. Okay? Salakia. Okay. I thought it stopped recording there for a second. There are no riches above a sound body and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness, and that's what insulin resistance does. It gives you chronic illness, man. Okay, the body's all out of whack. Delicates poured upon a mouth shut up are as messes of meat set upon a grave. What good doeth the offering unto an idol? For neither can it eat or smell. So is he that is persecuted of the Lord. In fact, I'm going to jump down. Verse 24. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. Right? Carefulness is using wisdom. Okay? Acting out of your self-lusts. Not having self-control over the things you put in your body and the things that you do. That's not being careful. Okay? Being erratic. That's not being careful. Okay, being careful about what you eat is important, man. And how you conduct and how you carry yourself. Because when you have discipline over your diet, it's going to extend to other areas of your life. You know? A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. Okay? So you should have a care of your meat and your diet, man. And stay away from these witchcraft foods. That's the first step. Is elimination of that garbage. Okay? So till next time, please share this if you want. Okay, Lord willing, this helps some brothers out there. Because I want to see you all get healthy. Alright? Until next time, Shalom.